Hey everyone, my name's Roboshyguy, but you can call me Robo. Whether you're a die-hard YouTube fan of mine, a Twitch viewer, a friend, or someone who plays the mods I make for Rivals of Aether, welcome to this video. To catch the few people up who haven't been following what I've been doing the past 3 years, I'm an active Steam Workshop modder for the platform fighter named Rivals of Aether. In 2022, I was awarded Workshop Developer of the Year, and have been participating in community events since my debut in 2021. You might have even seen me at Genesis the past 2 years, or at Riptide like a month ago.
Anyways, I'm sure all of you are here for my Horror Jam character release, but I'm not going to show you who it is.
I know that sounds bad.
I did promise a character release with this video, and there will be one, just not right now. I have some big news to announce with this trailer, so as a way to weed out the people who just wanted a quick click from the people who are here for the meat, the savory flavor of this video, I'd hide away my character release after I say what I have to say.
Now, I said I was an active Steam Workshop modder, but the truth is, that's about to change. I'm packing up my bags with this character, and I'm happy to announce that I'm retiring from mod making. After spending so much time in the community, making so many memories, I've decided to leave on a high note and move on to other work. What that'll be, I'm still figuring out. Now, this isn't anything to get upset about. I still plan on staying up to date with what happens, as well as interacting with everyone all the same. But, as of now, I don't plan on developing anything else in this game. So, I've decided to celebrate by dedicating the first portion of this video to a topic I am greatly invested in.
That's right, this is a long video, so if you don't feel like sticking around, you can always come back later. The trailer will be there for you when you do. But for those of you who are interested in seeing what I'm about to present, I won't keep you waiting any longer. Every so often, people pull together a pool of money and host jams, which are events that last roughly a month at a time. Some examples of these were the RPG Maker Jam, the Black Music Month Jam, the Anime Jam, and, most recently, as I mentioned, the Horror Jam. During these, developers are tasked with making a character that fits a theme set by the host, which are then judged based off of categories such as creativity, game feel, and art. On April 3rd, 2021, Zeta, a YouTuber within the Rivals Workshop hemisphere, and a well-known one at that, announced that she would be hosting a jam on her YouTube with the promise that the theme would be voted on. About 1 month later, that theme was announced. The Unorthodox Jam had started, and another month later, 34 characters were made and submitted. Most of these characters were extremely high in quality and very impressive to be made in only 1 month. But on the other end of the spectrum, one of these characters was developed by me. Yeah, you know where this is going. Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter. If you're active in any Rivals-related Discord servers, you probably know this name by now. Quote-unquote, one of the worst characters to play against, but also what might be described as a cult classic workshop mod. Where did he get that reputation? What happened from the beginning? And most importantly, how the hell do you play him? Welcome to the art of Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter. At the beginning of May 3 years ago, development started and carried on very smoothly.
It was my first jam, so cut a lot of corners, reused a lot of sprites and animations, and everything I made was super poor quality compared to what I do now.
I actually animated him entirely using Piskel. For any workshop creators who are just getting into animation, I personally suggest using Ace Sprite. The quality difference in tools provided by it just can't be compared to Piskel. Take it from me. Wow, these look bad. Anyways, my goal was to accurately translate the game Phasmophobia at its current state in 2022 into Rivals. From the start, this character was planned to be one of the most confusing and complicated playable things on the workshop, because what the hell is a beginner-friendly game?
It's insane! It's insane!
And on May 24th, I can say that I accomplished that goal. The public was enthralled. The judges baffled. Nobody knew what the hell a Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter did or was capable of. In fact, this initial release impacted the public opinion of me very greatly.
Honestly, I think Robo's a great guy, but every time I talk to him, I always think of that thing. Yeah.
So I had a session, offline session of Rivals with one of my close buddies, Bob the Guy, and one of our other friends. And this other friend had never played Rivals before, but was big into Smash. So we were showing him Workshop, and he stumbles upon Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter.
Robo is a good friend of mine, but I can't forgive him for making Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter.
To say the least, it's off-putting, really.
I think about the Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter every day of my life.
You know, when Robo first dropped Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter, I didn't think much of it. But now, I realized there was a god amongst us the whole time.
Over the course of the next hour, he pours through the official guide, and I call Robo on the phone and get live advice from him on how to play this stupid-ass character.
Robo's a really good and relatable guy. It's just that character, it haunts me in my dreams.
He haunts me like one of the ghosts from his game.
You know, sometimes I think about my past, and I look at it with regret, because I ever played this character. I hate you, Roboshyguy.
While the question, how do you play Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter, has stuck around for a while, you may be surprised if you hadn't known before, but the character has a 17-page tutorial included, and you can check it out in practice mode right now.
It isn't as detailed as I'd like it to be, but the page size I was working with wasn't as large as I would have liked either. But if you aren't exactly an avid reader, like someone who doesn't enjoy literature, then I'm sure a long tutorial like that wouldn't really suit your bill. Roll the clip.
You making me sit down, read 15 fucking pages to understand the gimmick. Oh yeah, I knew what I was doing, fuck you. If you knew what you were doing, suck my dick. I hate you.
Yeah, no worries, Joe. Not everyone can appreciate the arts. You can go back to playing, I don't know, Monster Hunter or something like that. Luckily, I'm here now to be able to explain for all of the auditory listeners here today in a short, summarized way. Let's get into it. To keep it brief, there are two major gameplay mechanics that you need to understand in order to play this character. Sanity and Hunt Stance. Being an install-like character, the game plan of Phasmo is to quickly achieve his potent-like Hunt mode, as outside of the upsides that gives him, Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter is useless. No recovery, no kill power, no movement. And against an opponent that has all of that and more, yeah, you could describe it as an uphill battle. And that's where Sanity kicks in. At all times, Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter has armor equal to the amount of sanity he has. This defensive upside allows him to play at his own tempo, because most of the time, when an opponent hits him, all it'll do is deal damage, not knockback. Let's get into some of the moves, since there aren't that many. Outside of Hunt mode, Phasmo has to rely on stun chains, chaining his attacks in an order that keeps the opponent in the most amount of hits done, while navigating the cooldowns that they all have.
Up tilt is by far the best attack to begin these chains with. Your flowchart probably looks something like this.
During these chains, Phasmo can use his specials. Oh yeah, about those. These four are definitely the best you can choose, especially the Dots Projector. It covers pretty much 2/3 of any stage and creates hitboxes that track opponents if they stay in its range for long enough. Absolutely ridiculous tool. With a little luck, You can successfully use your neutral special, forward special, and down special in 1 or 2 chains to activate your stance. Hunt mode. There isn't actually much to talk about. You lose your armor but basically become a real character. My best advice? Mash forward air, forward strong, and down strong, because they're your best kill options. Oh, and don't stay off stage for too long, because you only have a limited time with a recovery.
There is a lot more mechanics to explain. And I mean a lot. But I feel like that's enough for a summary. Seriously, go check out the tutorial if you want to learn more. You may find yourself saying, sure, I know how to play the character now, but personally, I'm more worried about playing against him. And there isn't exactly a part of the tutorial that explains what should the opponents do either. So, let me quickly point out some of the best and easiest ways to play against Phasmo.
By far, some of the best tools you can use to try and whittle him down are multi-hit aerials, specifically neutral airs. As long as a hitbox does more than 1 damage, it'll decrease his sanity. So, it'd make perfect sense that an attack that you can use mid-air, hits multiple times, would do the job well. Secondly, that absolutely ridiculous tool I mentioned actually has an Achilles heel. Disturbing. I know. Back then, I didn't even know what a collision circle was. So, the detection hitbox can be parried. Yeah. So, now that you get the gist of Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter, you may be, I don't know, itching to use him against some of your friends as a quick laugh.
But some people, like myself, found themselves wanting more. They wanted to play Phasmophobia in bracket. This character has had somewhat of an interesting backstory and presence in tournament play, although admittedly undeserving. I'll be tackling this history next.
The earliest instances of the character can be traced back to the tournament Workshops Elite held by Restless Suck back in September of 2021. Currently it goes by a different name. Phasmo mostly saw play from dedicated players like Snappy Stunner who were aware of the exploits the character could pull. I actually made a few upsets myself with the character, as during the time, an event named Sev's Comet was held, legalizing funnier characters for a week at a time. One of the most significant times Phasmophobia was seen in tournament play was during the Heavyweight Comet, also held by Workshops Elite, on the 22nd of July, 2022. The other significant tournaments to include the character were Pete the Horror, ran a few times by JH, and the Weekly Snap, held by myself. Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter won the second tournament of the Weekly Snap, actually, to which he was abruptly killed by Thanos the next week. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it.
Oh shit!
Wait, hold on a second. But he's in this graphic too, a few weeks later. Well, an important part of Phasmo's history actually spills over into the history of SSL. Just to preserve time, Super Smash Land is a workshop game mode that basically demakes the game into something you might be able to play on a Game Boy. Small sprites, basic buttons, no defense options. Anyways, people design characters to be specifically played for this game mode, and Phasmo is one of them. Super Smash Land Phasmo plays quite differently than the original. Instead of purely being a gimmick, SSL Phasmo boasts a zoner-type playstyle, as he is mostly based on the playable beta version of Velma in Multiverses. This version was even featured in the short-lived SSL Revamp bracket, and placed one time. Shoutouts to you, Oshari. We're moving towards the end of the documentary. I hope all of you have enjoyed so far.
So what kind of legacy did Phasmo leave for me? A good one, I'd say. I think, out of most of my mods, he's definitely one of the most well-known ones. I mean, for a while he's who I branded myself as, the Phasmophobia Ghost Hunter dev.
Realistically, if it weren't for this character being my first attempt to really put myself out into the workshop space, I don't know if I would have gained the traction that I did, because despite what some people might say, I feel like he's the character that put me on the radar. And I've grown so attached to this playable joke. It's safe to say that this character's legacy is my own. A legacy of charming characters that don't necessarily take themselves too seriously. Because, in the end, all I can hope for is that players will enjoy what I put out.
I think that's all I have to say. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you for sticking around. I can't articulate just how much it means to me when my audience checks out what I do. I'm still a bit dumbfounded that so much time has passed since I started modding.
Seriously, can you believe I went from making, stuff like this to having a legacy of indirectly making Dan Fernancy tweet about his retirement? Thank you all for coming along for the ride. And now, I'm happy to present my final character.